Well, everybody, I'll at least get us started on here. Don't worry about it. I'm fine. I'm doing fine. Devices in my life to function for more than exactly 3 seconds. Badly. How dare you, Reprieve? What's a little sleep deprivation combined with technical difficulties and other things? I'm just gonna call them other things. It's fine. Everything's fine, everyone. As soon as I get Frescoes open, I'll officially start the stream. Officially running into... Oh. Make sure to close certain things in the background. Opened. Okay, that should be fine. Alright, everybody. Alright. Now we're ready. Now I'm ready, probably. So, welcome to the stream, everyone. I'm your host, MCCanary. I know what I want to draw today. I thought about it. It was like, you know what? There's certain kinds of designs that I want to practice more. Certain designs that I seem to want to practice more. And I definitely want to, having done the project I did last time, I definitely want to focus on my lighting a lot more also, but also really want to continue to grow my shape and structure design. And I feel like the last thing I drew did a very good job of doing that. So we're gonna go with a square. The most boring shape? I know people say that the square is the most boring shape, and I'm kinda like... I guess I don't disagree, but it's just really solid, too. I don't think there's anything wrong with being solid, just for being... You fit in a lot of spaces, and you can also... also have a very consistent size. I think squares are good. I think squares are a good shape. It's a good portrait shape, that's for sure. Welcome to the stream, everyone. I'm your host, MCCanary, and we're gonna draw some suits. I'm gonna draw a suit design I've been working on for a long time. I think I'm going to do a lot more with it than I usually do, I think. Starting off, I have a couple ideas on how I want to handle this. And one of the struggles I'm going to have to get used to. Shaping and size. And I think I want to size everything off of something. This is also a sketching technique I picked up recently, actually from Garticone, where I'm very, very lightly kind of tapping where I want things to go. I really want to focus on where I want things to be. As three-dimensional as possible. Thinking a lot about my planes, a lot about the planes, and the shapes of things. Thinking about the shapes of like how specific parts. After drawing John Helldiver last week, finishing drawing John Helldiver last week, I feel like I've gotten a much better eye for shape, which is very good. It's not something I've ever really been bad at, but I don't think I was ever that good at it either. Kind of just whiffed around until something looked right, instead of like really thinking about planes. I'm always thinking about planes. Well, I love planes. I'm always thinking about it. That's for dang sure. No, I never really thought about this kind of like three-dimensional structure. Been doing it a lot more, I feel like. Definitely am finding more, especially with, because a lot of people have been like, wow, it's really hard to draw mechanical things, and I think recently what's helped me thinking about the flatness of an object, especially with the designs that I usually do. A lot of the designs I do are typically pretty I'm gonna be really careful on details and stuff, and if I might have to take a moment to look away every now and then. I'm not gonna shut my mouth, but okay. I'll deal with that in a bit. Nothing, it's not. One thing I want to try to focus on a little bit better. How I want to build out a little bit better different shapes on this. And this is kind of like a profile. Well, it is a profile. But I want to like do a better job of like building out sections of it. And really practicing on that Helldiver character did a very good job giving me a better understanding of how exactly like shape certain kinds of things. Especially when it comes to especially when it came to like plates and stuff. That helped a lot. John Helldiver taught me some. John Helldiver taught me a lot. And I'll check this, but I might not do anything with it yet. Okay. Huh. I'll deal with that in a bit. I'll deal with that later. This is something I'm not gonna deal with right now. Don't worry about it, everybody. It's just something you guys think I'm about to dodge a bullet, probably. Well, why? It's a learning experience. Learning experience. And I'm gonna go do something about that. Well, let's just say I'm learning something that's... Oh, I'm having to be an adult, but it's fine. I'm having to be an adult in a very specific way that makes me go, well, I learned a lot, and I am glad, and I'm gonna have to be like, no. No. I think I'm gonna have to be like, no, you might need to find somebody else, because this feels a bit sketchy now. Boy, it wasn't feeling... Boy, it was feeling a bit This is... Well, better luck next time, probably. No, never. I'm not afraid of adulting. It's more of just... something else hurting it. Let's just say I'm trying to get into the sticky weeds of doing contract work, and may or mayhaps I have met my limit on a specific situation, and I'm having to make a decision now that I'm like, well, at least I learned a lot. At least I learned a lot. And I did. I mean, I did. It was a very good learning experience. But, professionals have standards. Let's just say my standards are being broken right now. Okay, that's fine. There's just too many inconsistencies now that I have to... now be like, nope, 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 nope. But hey, I'm glad I did what I did, and I'm glad the way I did it the way that I did it, because it could have gotten a lot worse, baby. Also, let's just say the cold feet feel kind of justified. Sketchy has happened, and now I don't wanna. I don't wanna. Feel like I'm glad I'm about to be like, nope, because now I'm getting the opposite side of know when to fold. I'll just put it that way. Know when to fold. I think I'm folding on this one. Especially for my first experience doing this. I think I'm folding on this one. We're gonna focus on the artwork now, because I don't need to worry about that now, and it's something I'm going to deal with later. And, yeah. Yeah. All I gotta say is, man, scammers are getting fucking elaborate. They're getting elaborate. They got me. Goddamn. They didn't get me. I don't even know if they were trying to scam. They're just doing something that just feels way too sketchy for me to continue. Sorry, bud. I have lost confidence. Action. I would like to reserve the right to say, no. This is why I've learned a very good and powerful lesson. Guys, contracts are good. As soon as someone starts breaking the contract, you go, nope, you broke the contract. Nope, this is not what we agreed on. Nope. What's funny is there's a lot of things about it that I'm like, well, glad I dodged this bullet, because absolutely, without a doubt, without question, this feels uncomfortable. It feels uncomfortable. I'm gonna wait to discuss that actually. Because it is a wild story. It'll be a wild story once I got a conclusion. It's not a conclusion yet, though. Not concluded yet, though. So today we're just gonna focus on this. That. And then I still haven't decided design-wise, because, I mean, you're in a big robot. Big robots, I love the idea of, I don't know. It depends on how I'd want to justify a manual aiming mode, essentially, because in reality, robot don't need it. Robot don't need it. Mode. Big freaking robot. Not that there isn't manual aiming in the game, I just mean, like, the idea of an aim down sight for a giant robot wouldn't really make sense because you have targeting systems. Maybe a precision mode, but not one that has like an optic or anything. You just use whatever cameras you have. Right. Well, that's yeah, exactly. But that's the thing is, like, I think a manual, I'm trying, because I think from piloting from a plane perspective, plane manual targeting is still just a crosshair. It's still just a crosshair. So I guess you could argue that putting rudimentary iron sights or some kind of optic on a scaled up weapon is like a manual firing mode. It's just weird. I don't think it would make sense, because it's the same thing with like tanks, right? Like you don't look down you look down a scope. You look down a zeroed scope, and I think it would still work the same way. It would be like a zeroed scope essentially. You would have, because I've imagined that aiming in this game, I think I would move away from that, because I do just miss like aiming like in Halo and stuff. I think that's a thing. So precision fire mode, I think, would be like a focused mode, where it like narrows in, maybe zooms in a little bit, but then and maybe either locks or reduces the amount of like mouse sway. The reason why I call it mouse sway is I really like games that have non-centered aiming apparatuses that are adjusted by the position that you move the mouse. I like that kind of system. So your hip fire would have that, and then your quote-unquote focused fire would reduce it or eliminate it and keep it centered, zoom you in for like a closer ranged weapon, zoom you in a little, and maybe choke, depending on the weapon, choke the aiming apparatus. Though if it's like a shotgun, I think I would keep it hunt style where it doesn't choke it. You don't choke a shotgun's accuracy, you just know where it's going more easier. Like I like the way that hunt treats a shotgun. That's how I would probably also treat hipfire in general, is like it's less of a hipfire should be about aim control and a little bit more ambiguity of where your shots are going. So really, I think the aim would just be actually give you the cursor to be able to aim on the center. Like, that's manual fire. But if you're just hip firing, there's nothing on screen. I think that is the way I would handle it. 'Cause I also like that. I think there's a bad feeling in games where if you have an aimer and your aimer is just generalized, you always feel like you're never going to hit what you're actually aiming at, even when you're hip firing, and that's just not how guns work. Usually, they do go where you point them. They do go where you point them, if you know how to point them. And this is a big robot, big stompy robot, and your big stompy robot's going to be pointing generally in the right spot. I think even if I add like a dual wield function in the game, I think I'd want it to be focused enough that you can consistently hit something within a certain range, and that range should be fathomably longer than inside a compound. Because I love hunt, but dual wielding is not effective outside a compound every single time, and it's frustrating. Because in reality, it should feel like you have a volume of fire out, but you should feel like you should at least consistently hit after every 2 or 3 shots, to me. Because it's like, if you're missing that consistently, all you're doing is giving your position away for somebody to whip on you and shoot you with a aimed thing. Which is kind of the point, but also it's like, eh. And I also get it that it would go too far the other direction, would be too strong. It's a tough thing with dual wielding, but I still think it needs to be... I feel like Hunt can get away with it because it's a game about gambling, and I don't want my game to be that... I wouldn't want my game to be that much about gambling. I would still want it to feel like if you're aiming at something with the intent to shoot it and you have the advantage of positioning, you should feel like you have that advantage as much as possible, because nothing irritates me more in any game, including Hunt, when I feel like I have the advantage of positioning, miss my first shot, the guy just whips around and then shoots me once and I'm dead. That just irritates me, because it's like, all I did was miss. I didn't do anything wrong either. And that always frustrates me. I don't know. It's a tough thing to answer for in a game. I don't know the exact right solution, but I do want a game that does not punish you for one miss. Like, one miss should not make you lose, and it's something that frustrates me in a lot of games, is if you're the first miss, you lose. And I don't like that. Because everybody misses. Everybody misses at some point. Like, nobody's a perfect shot. Why, really, with this kind of design of game, I'd want it to, like, kind of broach the medium of combat that can feel tense and can hurt, but isn't. You can take at least one, or like you can take more than 2 shots. You're a big stompy robot with armor, depending on like things like positioning and distance and range and weapon differences. I care about. I mean, this kind of design is with the intent that I want to use it in. I'm trying to do as much study on it as possible to try to understand both how I want to consistently make its design and also it work. I want this happens. Like a backpack style. This is more of the cockpit side. We'll mount in from the back. And I think I'm going to do something similar that I did with the Helldaggers one. So I'm going to start with my sketch, and then I'm going to put down a vector layer for the colors, and then I'm going to do my shading on a different layer. My lighting and shading on a different layer. That seemed to work really, really well for me and get some really good effects. And I don't know exactly what kind of scene I still want to paint, but I do want this to be a full body. I want this to be full body. That I'm certain is I want it to be full body. Hey Mino! Welcome! I'm drawing my favorite self-made anime robot that I'd like to use in a video game someday. Welcome. How's it going? I hope everything's going well. I saw what you said on the tweet. Do not engage with the Twitter much, but... Wow, I really have to fight saying it that way. I want to, it's so funny to me, and I know it's the wrong way and the bad way to call it. And no, I'm not gonna call it X. No, I'm not gonna call it X. Nobody calls it X unless they want to make fun of it. That's just funny. But I hope everything's good. You have no idea, Mino. The internet has been going crazy recently, and when I say that, I mean ISPs. Welcome to me, and welcome to me recounting the Chronicles of the Jammer. I could not stream after 8:30 for 3 weeks. 2 weeks. I need to be specific here. For 2 weeks, I couldn't stream after 8:30 o'clock p.m. Because, and I'm not joking, someone in our network was causing interference with the network after 8:30 every single night. 8:30 o'clock, yes. They were jamming me. I'll never not talk about it, cause life's fucking wild. It's bonkers. I still was stubborn enough that I still did as much as I could, and I am glad, if anything, now I'm glad I can stream more during the day, because it didn't interfere with day streams. But I was like, wowie zowie. What the hell? What the hecky? How does one? Uh-huh. See, I feel like they shouldn't have probably said this, like they said something that they probably shouldn't have, but when I was talking to, like, IT help, they were like, well, you know, sometimes it's probably, like, a faulty outlet, sometimes it's somebody who jury-rigged, like, an antenna into their cable jack, and I'm like... Yeah, that would cause problems, wouldn't it? Because they were like, we're noticing noise from interference from a third party, not you, who is interfering with your network signal. And I'm like, what? And the reason why I knew this was what it was, or like something particularly weird was happening, because it would affect my upload, so my friends couldn't understand me over Discord. I couldn't get a consistent upload rate to be able to stream. I was running into weird issues that only affected my input, but not my output, but not my input. I could receive streaming data just fine. I would be able to watch things on Discord with my friends without problem. Like, I don't know. I don't understand it. I don't understand it a lick of a bit. Makes no sense to me why that happened. But trust me, I understand internet problems. I understand internet problems well. I'm fairly familiar with internet problems. It was wild, man. I'll never understand how that happened. I'm like trying to get a good leg stance with, I'm in profile. Typically when I draw these legs, they're kind of splayed out anyways. welcome! Welcome, Raiders. Man, maybe I should call this the Goblin Zone. Maybe that's what I'll say. Welcome to the Goblin Zone, because it's Goblin Entertainment. Thing is called. Well, welcome. Kappa! Wow! No, really. Thanks, Kappa. And thanks, Zek here. Let me give you a shout out. Welcome, everybody. I'm doing my original character, Do Not Steal. This is my robot that's only inspired by maybe 80 different kinds of robot anime. Welcome. What were you up to? Ah, Goblin. Yeah, of course. Hope you guys' stream went well. What were you up to? Thanks for following, Zek. I appreciate it. Trying to get myself in a better position. Stuff that I make, stuff that I do. And all of the support genuinely helps. So very much. So very much. Hello! 2 of your favorite streamers. Ah! How did Roblox go? The context I had. I'm old balls. I don't know ill about the Roblox. I don't know if I'll ever play it, but I don't know nothing. You're a bit older, And it was fun? That's good. I'm 31 years old. And thank you for following Jack VTuber. I'm John VTuber. Oh, I'm not John. Hey, and also thanks for following Miliasan. Appreciate it, guys. I don't know much about Roblox. I know that, unfortunately, there's a lot of controversial stuff. I don't have any personal stake in Roblox, so I'm not. We ain't got it. I just don't know much about Roblox, and I've known a couple people who play it, but then I'm like, the most recent thing I've heard about Roblox is somebody got banned on Roblox for something that seems really silly. It seems really silly, and I'm like, I don't know what to do about that, man. Yeah, thank you. I'm glad you think I'm a radical, cool dude with a lot of dude. Yeah, that's what I meant. I appreciate it. Everybody else, I hope you enjoy the show. Appreciate it. Yeah. I've been trying to... I'm currently working on really big thing that I'm doing is I'm really trying to buckle down and actually start expanding my portfolio, expanding my artwork. Most of the things I draw here are a mixture of original designs that I've been cooking up for a long time. And just my other biggest real topic is probably just paleo. So, yeah, thank you. There's more of it on my art station. There's more of it on my Discord. Been on the internet for a long time. And I still will never forgive that Titanfall. I like Titanfall now, but I'll still never forgive that it wasn't quite the robot game I wanted, and they stole my design! They didn't steal my design, they just made a game out of it before I could. This kind of digigrade stuff is something that I was doing back in high school before Titanfall ever came out. Oh, no, I'm just making a joke. You're a matchmaker now, Kappa? Oh, God. Well, looks like we're getting married. I don't know, Kappa said so. I trust Kappa. I trust Kappa. It's a big responsibility. It's a lot to have to take in, I know. I'm scared too. That's not necessarily what I wanted. You're barely 25? Yeah, I'm an elder. 31 years old. Hey. Honestly, it's so weird. I actually think I'm at a better spot than, like, if I would have been 28. If I would have been doing this when I was 18, I think I would have lost my mind. I definitely was not in... I am now in the place, both mentally and emotionally and physically. That's a weird one to say, but yeah, in all of those things, I feel like I'm in a better spot to actually be able to take on this kind of stuff and actually tackle it. Oh yeah, no. Like, because I know, like, Newgrounds guys were doing things when they were stupid young. And whilst that probably would have helped to cement me a little bit better, I actually got the experiences I need now to be able to do the things I want to do and be the things I want to be. And I'm no longer trying... Oh, bye, Kappa. Wait, no. Gotcha. Take it easy, Kappa. I'm starting to be, honestly. Like, I've been using Gartic Phone to practice animation, as of, like... I've done Gartic Phone before. I was always the friend in the group who, whenever we did party games like Jackbox and stuff, I'd be like, guys, let's do Garlic Phone. And they're like, Isaac, we don't know how to draw. And I'm like, I don't care. It's not about being good at drawing. It's about having fun. And, I always liked Gartic Phone's animation suite, like, as a way to, like, start practicing animation. And I have. I've been practicing animation. And... hopefully I could take a lot of what I learned there and start applying it into some bigger projects. Like I said, one of my ambitious projects for, like, maybe a breakout, like, practice thing is I've always wanted to try to take a shot at animating the... If anybody here has seen Gunslinger Girl, I'm a huge fan of Gunslinger Girl, and was incredibly disappointed by the quote-unquote second season. It's not really even a second season, it's a second series, because it's not that they took the first season and continued it. I believe they just did a second series that was closer to the manga, since the first one kind of deviates. Is my understanding. So it's not even a second season, it's a second series. And I loved the first series so much. The first series of Gunslinger Girl is great, and is one of my favorite pieces of animation and anime out there. It's got a pretty good... It's got a great dub. It's got some of my favorite animation. It's got a great writing. It's got a great story. And then I watched the second one. It was like Second Barrage or something, maybe. No, I'm thinking of I'm thinking of something different. I'm thinking of Black Lagoon. By the way, second season of Black Lagoon is quite good. But I remember trying to watch it, and I feel like I got to the Pinocchio fight scene with Triella, and it just made me mad, because it feels like in a show whose predecessor had such good animation, had such good animation direction, had great character direction and everything. Like, it felt like that watching that fight hurt me because it just was so amateurishly done. Not to say, now, this is me kind of big dick swinging and probably going to be taking on too much more than I could chew, but it would be a good learning experience to be like, can I possibly at least even feasibly make a fight scene that I think would have worked better? That would be the goal. Because one of the things that frustrated me about that fight scene is how it concludes and how it is run. Because so much of it is, it's underwhelming, it lacks impact, and its ending is, its conclusion is by pure folly in a way that does not feel believable. The way the fight ends is Pinocchio honestly is getting his ass kicked, which kind of makes him look bad when he's supposed to be like a foil to, you know, the girls who've been cybernetically enhanced, and he's just been a child soldier since he's like apparently been able to pick up a knife. He kind of looks bad, and the reason why he quote-unquote wins the fight is Triella trips. And I'm like, Triella is the oldest girl in the group. She's one of the she's one of the best trained ones, and she's a cyborg like the rest of them, and they know that if they cannot afford to make mistakes or they might die. So, like, for me, if you're gonna pull off something like that, it really has to feel earned in a certain way. And the counter argument I could think to that is, well, in the original series, Angelica has something happen. Yeah, well, the whole point is Angelica's failing her cybernetics. It was her first mission back in what seemed to be like months, maybe even a year. She hadn't been up to training. She had been proving in training that she had been struggling. She's like struggling. Triella doesn't struggle though. So it has to feel earned and it has to make sense, and it does not make sense, and I would like to actually see a well-designed, well-thought-out fight sequence between Pinocchio and Triella, because it would be cool and badass and tense. I would like to see if I could try a swing at that, you know? That was one of the ideas I've had of like a try to like, what if I could make a test animation? That was the test animation I've always like kind of dreamed of doing. Along with animations, test animations animating these robot designs. They are mine. I claim them. They're mine. I call them Aaron suits because I don't know a better name at the moment. But they're they are my original designs. I'm kind of keeping them in my back pocket in the hopes that someday I can actually start heading into a little bit of game design. These probably end up being ultimately, which was, what's funny is like 3D, I'm like 2 steps away from getting into 3D. I really am. I feel like I'm really close. I've done it before. I've worked a little bit with Blender, and I actually have experience with like 3D modeling and 3D shapes. I do. Listen, man, I just like Metroid. Just like Metroid. What a reference. I like Metroid. I can't think of a better name. I really can't. I've definitely wanted to think of a better name for a while. More or less been placeholder. Want to reposition. Alright, well, thanks for stopping by, Zach. I hope you can stop by in the future. And again, thanks for the raid, bud. We appreciate it. I hope you had a good time. Take it easy. I know, streaming can be a bit taxing. It can be very taxing. Believe it or not, guys, sitting in the same spot for several hours, talking, trying to stay focused on something. It's hard. It's hard, buddy. God, I need to play this game still. This is actually just like a compilation of songs from the Valhalla soundtrack, so I have no context. But I do know I want to play Valhalla really badly. And I like this mix a lot. I hope it doesn't get pinged. Don't get angry at me, YouTube. YouTube, I'm talking to you, buddy. Don't get angry at me for using this. I find that usually anime and video game music usually is fine, but I also still feel good with that. It's like, But I think if I ever make music in the future for a game or something, I'd actually be like, no, I'm okay with people using music as like own stuff, because I've been there. I've been on the opposite side. I'm like, why is it such a pain to be able to just share and listen to somebody's music? Like, as long as nobody's claiming it's theirs, I don't care. And even then, I'm like, well, if I actually have a decent enough audience, you're gonna be able to be like, that's not your music, buddy. That's Canary's. And really, I would like to focus that kind of element of my community building on that, of like, if you guys were to see something that I made and somebody else claiming it's theirs, you guys would have my back, right? Right? That'd be nice. It'd make me feel a lot better about making things on the internet and being open about people just using them. As long as you recognize that it's me, that's all I care about. This game's soundtrack is very good, and I have really wanted to play it. I own it. God and I are inundated in the hell of trying to continually remember what we want to do next, because I know Valhalla was actually kind of high on the list, then we got sidetracked, now we're doing Metroid. Not that I'm gonna complain about playing Metroid. Why would I complain about playing Metroid? That's just one of my favorite games of all time. I'm not gonna complain about playing a game that I really, really like. Favorite game ever.
Every time we touch, something courses through my blood, and I'm born anew. Can you feel this warmth too? I need you so much. I'm addicted to your love. Nothing I can do. I'm so helpless for you. Heavenly.
This is the tough part.
I feel the stars align for eternity, till the end of time. Ecstasy, so burned into my mind. You're a drug for me, pure and crystalline.
What a good soundtrack. I like just stumbled upon this too, because again, I've never played the game, and then this just appeared in my feed one day, and I was like, sure, why not? Because I feel like I listened to like the whole soundtrack at one point, and then I found this mix, and I was like, oh, yes, give me good.
When you're far away, I'm absorbed within a haze, so consumed by you. Do you think of me too? Counting down the days, got me sleepless in a craze. I'm a slave to you, so damn helpless for you.
I think I'm gonna maybe
I feel the stars align.
going to
Eternity till the end of time. Ecstasy so burned into my mind. You're a drug for me, pure and crystalline.
gotta move this leg. Gotta move this leg. Leg is weird. I definitely want to add a little bit more of an action.
Heavenly, I feel the stars align for eternity till the end of time. Ecstasy so burned into my mind. You're a drug for me, pure and crystalline.
Like, listening to this sells me on this game, because it's just, I like music and games, and I like music like this, and it's just so good. So solid, man. Try to make that a little bit flatter, a little bit thinner. Come for the stream for the jams, not the hams, but you get both! Came for the jams, but do you stay for the hams? Stay for the hams. Hams seem to be pretty good. I'd say I have some pretty good hams. Maybe? Something, Aurora Borealis. boots. Now I gotta make the boots. Now I've got to make the boots. I want this to be portrait. I want this to be portrait style. Definitely want that. I want it to figure out its what if I just make it? What if I just make it be flat? This to move up a little. You have to fight to make it do. Really have to fight to make it do that, but that's fine. There we go. This will probably look better too. Yeah. Having to fight my inclinations. I have a habit of making things like tilted a little bit, but this is like full profile, so I actually can't. And even if I do, it needs to be subtler. Like, I can't have that much tilt into it. I want it to feel straight on. For the most part. Subtler than Catan? What? Why do you say that? I get it. Sounds like I said Catan. It sounds like I said Settler. And I haven't played Settlers in a long time. I don't know if I would now, honestly. Apparently I have no one to play with. Apparently all my friends hate Settlers. No, that's not true. I do get the impression that they got very burnt out on it, because it was a very big college game, I think. A lot of people played it in college, and then they played it with a lot of people who were kind of unpleasant to play it with in college. Me probably being one of them. My whole strategy with Settlers was, I don't have the strategy to win, but I'm not gonna make it easy for anyone else to win. It's usually my kind of strategy in general. Actually, no, it's gonna be MIC. Again, this is something I'm really trying to focus on this time around. The more three-dimensional shape, very mechanical essence, if you will, because I feel like, again, I get a little whiffy. I get a little whiffy with, I feel like, my Aaron suit design in a way that I don't necessarily actually mean to be much more just a mecha design. Discreet. I don't know if discreet's the right term, but I do try to be a lot more nice. And at a point now. More of a winged. Yeah, I like that. This model is a model I've been working on for a long time too, so I feel like this is actually like getting to a point with it that I'm like, okay, I'm very happy with the grips model now. Maybe the actual shape I want it to be too. And another thing to be proud of is man, I don't know, man, people gotta go. Everybody could stay, but I appreciate everybody who came by. I yammered too much, probably. I did get told off for talking too much the other day, which is still a weird thing to experience on Twitch, of all things. You get yelled at for talking too much on Twitch. Sorry, buddy. Not only are you at the wrong place, you're also on the wrong platform to tell somebody to stop talking. I was playing Gartic Phone, and somebody joined, and they were, like, fine for a while, and then suddenly out of nowhere, they were, like, they hadn't said anything, and they drew a picture, and I was like, okay, they seem fine. And then, I'm glad I have moderator chat on when I play Gartic Phone, because the next thing that they drew, without context, without warning, was just, shut the fuck up, STFU, virgin loser. And I was like, oh, that's fun. Exactly. I was like, well, cool. I'm my own thing. That's why I'm also proud that whenever it comes to situations like that, I purely stream with the intent that, again, I can stream to nobody. I could talk. Nobody. Because I'm here to make things, not just funky. Laugh at. I'm here with a very, I'm always here with a very specific intention. And if people can join, great. Absolutely great. Your guys' support allows me to continue to do it, and allows me to continue to grow, and allows me to continue to do more things. Just know, I'm here to design a show and to make things. And I'm here first for that always, and I want people to be here for that. I want that. And I appreciate their art. But I want to give you guys a show that I would be happy making for anyone to see at any time. There are people to become involved with it. It's more of a byproduct than an expectation for me. People being here is a good thing by proxy of it gives me more. It makes it easier for me to be able to chat and talk and be able to make that kind of engaging content. But it is not expected. It hasn't been expected ever since the start. And it's made it easier for me to continue doing this no matter what. So, is it pretty loud? Thank you. A little surprised. I will give that other guy credit. He told me my music was too loud too, but that might be it. Though, that should make sense. It says I'm in the yellow, but the desktop music was only in the green, so I don't know. I typically try to fix that, but I guess it's full of shit. Not realize the music was that loud. Thank you. Or am I that? How am I that quiet though? Because again, I'm coming in yellow, so back to me. Shouldn't be having any issue hearing me. Give a non-troll input. I'd say your music right now is about 40% music, 65% you. Got it. That's the problem. This is a problem that I run into sometimes. Is it's like, this feels like it's barely loud enough for me. Make sure whatever you're coming in is yellow and wasn't before. It's time to throw it out. How about now? That a little better? Is that a little better? I also adjusted my actual desktop audio. This is the tough thing with audio sometimes is I wish people would be vocal about it. It'll help me make sure that the audio is good, but also, like, I swear I'm not just like, oh, just do whatever. I am basing it on something, and usually what I try to go for is is my microphone audio should be coming in at -10 decibels. That's what I go for. And then the music should be -20 at the loudest. Yeah. I also, just the music is there to be able to vibe to, so it's good music. I like to try to get music that people normally wouldn't hear, and things that I think is weird, and things that I appreciate that, and I appreciate the good. Yeah. Move the legs back a little bit. Shrink them a little. You look at me being way more careful about this kind of thing. That should be more. I'm out. Well, apparently I had the music too loud, which again, I'm a little salty only because, again, sometimes I feel like my levels lie to me, that I'm like, oh, that's fine. Oh, that's fine. My voice should be coming in twice as loud as the music, and then people sometimes are always like, your music is too loud, and I'm like, really? No, it's not. No, it's not. It's not true. Hey, Moat. Moat! Oh, this is, hey, this looks interesting to you. Buddy. Really serious about video game publishing. This is the beta design for a key model that is the primary layout for a mecha design in a game that I would like to develop someday, and that's all I'm gonna say. I've been doing the design bible for this game over the course of a decade now. It's been a decade. It's been more than a decade because I was doing this all the way back in high school. So. Hi. Oop, water. Drinky. This is the key design to that mecha game that I always say that I want it to be in what I call my big three of game designs. It is a mecha shooter. It will be shooter focused, so it is a game designed around shooter mechanics, primarily first person. I don't think it would have a third person mode, and if it did, it'd be completely optional. I want it to be first. I would want it to be first person because I like piloting in first person, and it would be a military shooter with the next most ambitious thing being extraction mission based and either a single player game about a military conflict or a multiplayer game about a military conflict. I put multiplayer second because that's the harder one of the two to do, probably. I mean, the crotch is an important part of the design for me. Don't ask why. I don't really know. Something about a feminine motif always fit its way into my designs after a while. All I'm gonna say. Why? I blame Evangelion. I blame Evangelion, actually, than my own personal weirdness. I'll actually leave that. How's it going, Shrimp? How are you? You do something for coding stuff, feel free to hit me up. Yeah. I mean, I would start. What I would do, actually, is if I really wanted to undertake this, though, I want to do a smaller. I would want to finish a smaller game first. This is not something I want to be my first project. This is something that I've gotten at least one, but at most 3 projects done by, and one of them has to be already 3D. So I'm leaning more that my first project should be 2D. My first project should be 2D. This is not a 2D project. This is not based on a 2D project. This is based on a 3D project. It would be moved into 3D. So a lot of this design is more of me categorizing and continuing to keep alive and crystallized in my head the design philosophy of this game from a design Bible standpoint. But I would want my first project probably to be 2D, and then my second project to be 3D, and then I would start considering this. I want to start with single player first. I do not want to start with multiplayer, because I need to know how to make a game before I have to figure out how to make a game with networking. Which probably isn't that bad. There's probably a lot of ways that networking can be worked itself. That's not my concern. Because the pipeline should be, I want to make a game. I want to make a game with 3D elements. I want to make a game with multiplayer and 3D elements. And then this, I want to make a game with 3D multiplayer elements where the multiplayer elements have a narrative design also worked in. That's the pipeline for me. That would be the pipeline to get to this project. Noah Pot Parable. I think so? And you've continued yesterday's journey to continue exploring the 13K Quake clone? Quake clone? How's it going? Is it going hopefully well? Hope it's going well. But this is a kind of like a design, a design like high for me. Like, this is like, I want to be able to get to the point that I can do this. I know I have a lot of work to get there, and right now all I really have is artwork, and I need to start working on game design again. I haven't done that in a long time. And actually do game design. No buts. No buts. Migrated about 25% of the files to TypeScript in order to understand each part, and ended up watching a 1-hour video of getting started making shaders in WebG. Yeah, see, and that's always like my thing is the research element of actual game design can be a little bit naive. That's just more of a symptom, not something that I'm complaining about. It's a fact. It's just like, well, you're gonna have to do a lot of sifting, a lot of reading, and a lot of research, and a lot of study. That's what it takes. It's actually what it takes to. A lot takes a village to make a video game. One of these days I'm gonna remember to open this before I start the stream. There it is. Now I know I have a hum, and now you have a hum on how to replace the stupid stuff in the game. Yep, and having to use my old linear algebra knowledge is just making you happy. That's good. I think I've worked with the linear algebra once before, but a long time ago. Also, I guess I should give myself a day off. Today is technically a day, a government holiday. Will not be. I won't be streaming tonight. Everybody enjoy your Juneteenth. The only thing I'm salty about the Juneteenth is I have to do some. I've been working. I've been trying to get something set up, and I unfortunately have run into a situation, into a bit of a frustrating situation with it, and it has to deal with the government. Don't gotta get into details. The short story is I needed to call them. I needed to call them Monday. Today is Juneteenth. Happy Juneteenth, everybody. For some reason, the government, I gave a call, and they were like, sorry, our offices are closed for Juneteenth. We will reopen on Thursday. And I thought about it, and I was like, oh, that sucks. And then I thought about it more. I was like, wait a second, Juneteenth isn't until Wednesday. Why are you closed on Monday? So I guess screw me. It's not time sensitive, it's just or at least I hope it's not time sensitive. That's the thing, is like, I'm trying to deal with the situation. And I hope it's not time sensitive. Well, I think it's fine. I think it's fine, Reprieve. I just think what they're doing is stupid. I think it's a good thing. I have no problem with the day itself. I have a problem with the situation I'm in because of it, not because of the day. And I wouldn't even say it's the day's fault. It's the shit that I'm having to deal with is their fault, not my fault. I think Juneteenth is fine. I think Juneteenth's a good thing. I do. I think it's about something good. Good holiday. Salty because they're doing something stupid. Kind of screwing me over. They being the government. What is the government not doing? Haha, black pill. I'm not gonna complain about also more government-sanctioned holidays. I won't do that either. Yeah, this is coming together pretty fast. And then background. Juneteenth is stupid. I do think the name is stupid. Agreed. The name, the holiday about horses. Uh-huh. Yes, I did. The first time I've heard of Juneteenth, I was like, that's nothing. I think the name of the day is stupid. I agree with that. I think what it's about is fine, but the name is dumb. All right. Art. Hydrate bot. Yeah, I mean, it's still a good thing. I don't know. If anything, I'd say the opposite. I think it's more applicable to be able to be like, no, this is like a good thing that happened in history. I think that's the more noteworthy thing to be. That's what holiday should be, is exemplifying the good moments and being like, we did something right! We did something right! So, yeah. But we don't need to get into that too much. Again, oh, politics. I only brought it up because I could make fun of the stupid thing that was happening to me. regarding it. We don't have to actually get into the nature of it. And in general, I hope everybody I do hope everybody has a good Juneteenth. I hope you guys enjoyed your Juneteenth. I hope you do something good for it. I hope you have a good time. If you got the day off, I hope you enjoy your day off. I guess it never occurred to me that my friends would want to do something because they got a day off, and I will respect that, because in reality, you know what? Yeah, I would like a day off. You know what? I would like a day off. We ain't gotta. Appreciate it. I appreciate it. I just wanted to make fun of the stupid thing that was happening to me regarding it, and how it's inconvenient for things that have nothing to do with the content of the day. The content or the context of the day. Nothing wrong with the content or the context of the day. Good thing. After drawing that heck diver that way, like this has already become a way faster process for me. I learned a lot from doing that. I learned a ton from doing that, honestly. Like doing that hell diver that way. A, that's like one of my favorite drawings I've ever done, and I do think that there's still a lot that I could have done better on it. And B, it just taught me a lot, man. I wasn't doing coloring until, you know, the next week, and the fact that I'm already doing this is like a really good sign. Touch. Plan on making this part, the vector part, very matte, very, very solid. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back maybe not that dark. %. Ooh, as we do that. That. And now, if I go ahead and turn this off, that should look like that. Just gotta clean things up, but that'll keep it from being. this will also be really fun to color, I think. And then doing what I did last time for everything else will be also a lot of fun to draw, honestly, because what I did last time was I did a lot of this. Eh. It doesn't make sense. Hands. Fix the hands. Fix the hands. Got it. There we go. There we go. There we go. Kind of interesting for me because I usually don't both these layers at the same time. Changes something. Usually I wait on that, but I kind of am glad that I worked on that a little bit. I'm also trying to do a better job of like getting that kind of thing started earlier. I also think I did a better job with the waist for once. I think the waist usually becomes a bit of a nightmare for me. I think I have a hard time trying to visualize or try to getting it to capture exactly what I want it to do. A little bit more. A little bit more depth. A little bit more depth. And I think this is going to come out really nice. Actually, I think we're going to see a lot more depth in general, and a lot more. A lot more color. Yeah. experimenting. Yeah, that makes sense. I love how quickly it just already makes certain things. Really glad I've like matured this design. I can actually get like some work done on it this quickly too. I feel like I used to take a long time, like even get to this place in a piece. And I've gotten much better at not taking a lot of time and also making it look much better. Ooh, this is gonna look really good. Yeah, I think this is gonna look really good. Yellow in there. Always like this kind of steel. I don't know why. Always liked it. It's always looked really good. This needs to actually probably be bigger. That needs to be a little bigger. This needs. I want to get that dark. I want to blot out the face. I think this vector coloring does a very, very good job too of just hitting certain things that I really like. Gun. Made the gun like a green color. I like green. Olive drab. Make it darker. Make it darker. That in there. More detail. Back in. Get my bases down. Action to be made. I'd actually make that a little bit bigger. This long. Actually, yep, I did it. I did it wrong. I'll have to fix that. In fact, I'll fix that right now. In fact, I'll fix that right now. Oopsie, made a whoopsie, made an oopsie poops. Got to fix-see the that broke. Really? That's the way that should. Going to draw, make, reference. I'm going to scale it up. I should scale it up at least correctly a little. Go down to 5. Just like bolt-action rifles, I think they're cool. So I think a robot with a bolt-action rifle would be cool. Even with the serious themes of the concept that I'm going for, I still want it to be cool. You can have something be serious and deal with tough topics and be cool. My opinion. Look at Shinro! I think that movie is fantastic and deals with some really tough topics and is cool. Legitimately. Who make the boy look really cool in the big scary armor? Not supposed to think he's cool. The idea of this is that, like, oversized and big manual bolt pull. It is a manual bolt pull. I'm a weirdo who wants a giant robot to pull a bolt. Let's see. Curse me in struggling to draw straight lines. I never draw straight lines when I need them to be straight. Back later on. Great question. I'll deal with that bridge when I get to it. On that layer. You're not on that layer. What the hell layer is that? Where was I on? Might explain why I was having some difficulty. I don't know what that layer is. Whatever. Don't know what that layer is. Don't know and I will never know. Hell if I know. There, that's looking better. I get to change parts of it because it's no longer the same. Yay! How's that angle work? I'm trying to think how this angle works. Angle work. For not. Thank you, Fresco. Thank you do. Thank you, Fresco, for the good things you do every now and then. I appreciate it. I'm still listening. I do hope these don't get hit. I feel like this might get hit. Who knows? I don't know. We'll see. If not, I still always have the artwork, and that's what matters. I think YouTube didn't like this portion of my playlist last time. Taking a risk. Hopefully I can figure out what parts of the playlist YouTube don't like for next time. It does get hit. Hope it doesn't get hit. That would be a damn shame. Roll with the punches, Rebecca. Much I could do about it. Wrong color this whole time. I've been using green. God, I hate it when I'm trying to sketch or draw something and then I look at my hand and I realize you have the wrong pencil in your hand. Just like in real life. Gets me every time. Which is not so bad. I can always try mode. Like I said, I've had a list of manga to check out at some point. Pretty high on the list is Blame. Blame is probably pretty high on the list for me. I also need to read Part 2 Chainsaw Man. Monster. I definitely know there's like manga out there that I need that I would be interested in reading. Finding the time to do it is the hard part. To study more manga. Fair enough. I need to read Dorohedoro. I've heard Dorohedoro is very good. I could probably get into actual JoJo manga because I've enjoyed the JoJo anime, like, pretty heavily. I'm in the controversial camp of I don't like I think, well, it's not that I don't like it. I think that Star Crusade. Boring. It's just boring. I agree with Arthur. It's not got the character stuff that I like that the other parts have. Stardust Crusaders. Part 2 was my favorite until Part 5. I liked Part 5 a lot. I liked Part 4 a lot. I liked Part 2 a lot. I liked I just don't like Part 3 as much. They don't have they don't do characters in Part 3 the way that I like that they do characters in all the other parts. And really, Part 3 just comes off as we made a bog standard beat 'em guy up, and the character Jotaro just is kind of boring for me. Don't get me wrong, I think the stands are cool. I think that Star Platinum is cool, and I think that the fight with him and Dio is good. I just remember much. Polnareff is good. I like Polnareff. That's not even 100%. I like the characters in Part 3. I just think that they don't do as interesting or cool things. They're just kind of boring. They just kind of walk through to each... What's funny is I love the premise of Part 3. I just think Part 3 falls flat. But I do love the premise of Part 3. I love that it's a globe-trotting adventure. I love that it still gets weird at parts. I just think that Jotaro is the worst JoJo. He's just kind of boring. He's a little flat. He's a little he's a little one-dimensional. He's not two-dimensional. He's one-dimensional. But I've come to learn that I'm not big on brooding tough guy. I'm not big on brooding tough guy. If you're gonna make a brooding character, make him a compelling brooding character. Give me a Cloud. Give me a Shinji. Give me somebody who, if they're gonna be brooding, they're dealing with some shit, bud. Don't just make them edgy. I just don't like edgy. I don't like edgy for edgy's sake, unless it's Shadow the Hedgehog, and it's so edgy that it's great and stupid. And I'm so excited to see Keanu Reeves as Shadow the Hedgehog. So, edge for edge's sake, not entertaining to me. Edge, that's not even true. Edge for entertainment's sake is good to me. Because I can make fun of that, and it's funny. And I think it deserves to be made fun of, and that's what makes it entertaining. Inuyasha. Heard of it. I know Sean went on a Junji Ito dive, and he did recommend that to me. I might give Junji Ito a shot at some point. I mean, I am interested. I like well-written horror, and actually, Sean kind of prefaced it with, if you're expecting like really in-depth horror writing, that's not really what Junji Ito does well. He does incredibly good evocative artwork, but otherwise pretty stupid horror. And that's fine if you're prepared for that. Like, he found it entertaining, but it's not as serious as he felt he was led to believe. And I could enjoy it for that. He called it essentially like Goosebumps. He called it like manga Goosebumps. And I would be down with manga Goosebumps. He's kind of like a horror concept of the week with incredibly evocative designs. Like, I won't deny Junji Ito makes fantastic art designs. So, read chapter 1 and throw it away if it does not hit your jam. Fair enough. I mean, that's always like, I'm a rules of 3 kind of guy. If I can't get through like 3 of something, 3 episodes, 3 chapters, probably put it down. That's why somebody the other day mentioned that Pun Pun was one of their favorite mangas, and all I've heard about. Listen, I also have a reference group I trust, who, if they say something is not good, it's because we do actually have a very, very we have a shared interest in specific things and have a good idea of what we will and won't like, and I trust when they don't like something, I won't like something. And both of my friends tried Pun Pun and went, oh no. It lands in the, from my impression, the category of a bad time for bad time's sake, which I can enjoy with a huge asterisk of, you really have to be careful when you're writing that. You really have to be careful when you're writing that. Because this is coming from a guy who's experienced Song of Saya. For me, for my list of things that are bad, are things that put me in a bad place but have something meaningful to say. Song of Saya is the top of that, followed by things like End of Evangelion and the first 2 episodes of the 2nd season of Black Lagoon. Like, that's the darkest I will go. And I've heard Pun Pun tries to be darker and does not do a very good job of handling the subject matter from my peers' perspectives, and I trust them on that. So, yeah. If you like Pun Pun, glad for you. Don't think I'll touch Pun Pun. From what I get, I will have a bad time and not enjoy it. And this isn't me saying like a, not for the faint of heart or whatever. I mean, obviously, Song of Saya is not for the faint of heart. Please do not go into that. Do not look into that unless you are wanting a A very, very well-written horror, but certainly one that I would never recommend to anyone, unless they were really wanting to look into that. Wait, Song of Saya? You'll now pull back a lot of my favorites. Ooh, boy. Well, again, Moat, remember, here is why I bring that up, and it's, I use it as a reference for horror for how far I would go. I would never go farther. I would never go farther than Song of Saya, and never as far as Song of Saya goes in any of my horror writing. I think there's a lot of good horror writing in Song of Saya, but even I don't think I could put anyone through some of the things that happen in that story to accomplish what that story accomplishes. And I would still say Song of Saya goes too far, absolutely. I do think that what it accomplishes with its horror, I still think I'm like, I couldn't do that, and it does do it well. But that's my bar, and the Song of Saya is not one of my favorites. My favorites are things I'd recommend to people. Song of Saya is not one of those things. Song of Saya has great music. It has a great mind for character writing, actually. I think the way that it writes its characters is what makes it work for me. But the things that it does, I'm just like, I never want to experience that again. And the things that I got out of it all have to do with, that's how far I would go when it comes to my horror writing. And what it does for horror writing, I do think it does well. But I think what it does, I could never do, and I only appreciate it as a kind of, like, litmus test of a lot of things, as a dark satire to the people who would be going to that game for the content that it has to essentially prank people who want something different out of Song of Saya. It is a prank, an incredibly cruel prank, and an incredibly well-written prank. Song of Saya is supposed, in my interpretation, Song of Saya is actually a kind of booby trap for people who are looking for that kind of material for actually unsavory memes. And it's supposed to be like you signed up for this, buddy. You were looking for this, weren't you? And it's him going, I'm gonna actually write this and show you how actually awful it is to engage with these ideas. That's good writing. That is good writing. But it does mean you are put through some real bad shit. Some real bad shit. And I would never do that to somebody. That is not what I like out of horror, for the horror that I write. If I'm gonna write horror, I want you to be put through maybe a stressful situation or experience a stressful concept. But I would not want it. I think what he did, I could not do. I don't have the writing chops. It is something very easy to screw up, and it still arguably is screwed up because it's such a controversial thing, in my opinion. Like, my friend group can't decide on, like, I think I'm probably the one who got the most out of it. Sean got a decent amount, and then Arthur does not like it. Does not like it. And that's totally fair. It is a thing that deserves to not be liked. And that's a part of that, at least makes it art, in my opinion. But I would not recommend it to people on a light. Do not recommend anything that makes you think of Song of Saya to me without some serious consideration. That's all I'm gonna say. I only ever bring that up as I've experienced it, and I will always tell people, do not look into it unless you are wanting to see, by my number, the best written worst a horror piece could be. In a lot of ways, it has some of my favorite horror writing and character writing in a horror piece. And in other ways, it really pushes its boundaries in a way that I have to question are acceptable, which I think is by design too. I respect the effort, but I do recognize that I don't necessarily agree with it. I do not agree with the extent that he actually goes to. I don't. And that's not to say that there isn't arguments for it should not be there. I'm not saying even that he shouldn't have written it the way that he did. I think that it is my limitation. It is my, like, I don't necessarily think he shouldn't have written it the way that he did, but I think it is a nature of the art piece that kind of question is something that you have to confront when engaging with it. And I don't want to do that ever again. ever again. I did it once. I don't ever want to do it again. Put it that way. As far as I'm concerned. Frankenfrawn? Never heard of Frankenfrawn. Ooh, I mean, horror comedies are always great, and I might have to check that out. We in particular, I mean, we like seriously written horror, but we also adore horror comedy. We love, and in all seriousness, I think some of my favorite horror also has a sense of humor. It always does. Like, there are just good jokes and good character moments. Yeah, if you have horror comedy, hit me up, man. I love horror comedy. I would argue that one of my favorite horror comedies is Chainsaw Man, and Chainsaw Man absolutely is horror for horror writing and comedy for comedy writing. It has both in a vacuum to itself. Like, it does pretty good horror and pretty good character, and it does a great sense of humor. See, Chainsaw Man is kind of more of the horror I would like to write. Like, maybe dealing with complex or harsh topics, dealing with a stressful situation, dealing with really tough personal concepts. Flip side, your main character is literally called Chainsaw Man and is an idiot. You know? Like, I love that half of Chainsaw Man is some pretty genuinely good, serious, like, writing, and the other half is some really stupid, pulpy writing. And it balances it really, really well. This is why I always like to say, and I say more and more these days, is to write something stupid actually takes someone who's a really smart writer. Because you can't just do something stupid for stupid's sake and have it be good. If something is really stupid and it, like, resonates, it's actually because it's been very meticulously designed. Or at least has had a lot of thought put into it for how stupid it is. That's why, let's take, for example, we talked about it recently, it's been brought up on stream a couple times, Godzilla Final Wars is the dumbest thing I've ever seen, and everyone involved knew how dumb it is, and they all put in 110% to make it as stupid as possible. And that takes effort. Making something stupid still requires something stupid that is that much fun intentionally requires cognizance. It requires you to be knowing what you're doing. And knowing what you're doing is a smart thing. You have to a certain extent, to make something that dumb requires you to be aware of it. It requires you to be aware of what you're doing. And that is not a dumb thing. I will screech from the mountaintops about that, because it is kind of the same thing. I like adding dumb details, but not for the sake of just being stupid or random. I usually have, it's usually when I add a detail for absurdity, it's to try to conflict with something very intently. It's to be like, it's to put into light the conflict, a concept that it directly conflicts with, is usually what I do when I try to add an absurdist factor. So it isn't actually random for random's sake, it's actually to put a highlight on something that's already there and contrast with it. But also be able to make a joke, be able to Give it some character, give it some levity. That's usually what I think of when I think of trying to write in quote-unquote something stupid. Because the stupid thing isn't just thrown in there at random. It isn't thrown in there at random. It's thrown in there to provide texture, provide an amount of contrast to the idea that's already there. At least I like to believe so when I pull it off correctly. That's why I still could claim that my worst D&D character was my actual me trying to be an assassin, and assassins aren't good guys. They're just not. Me trying to play an assassin, and yet I would still do things like, we found ourselves in a dance hall, and this was a lizard folk. So it's like I'm supposed to be this edgy assassin, and yet I don't know, how would an edgy assassin lizard dance in a dance? That's something I would consider, and it's not like a matter of like, you know, oh, he's too cool to dance. Like, no, I think the opposite. I'm like, no, how would that kind of character dance? And he did something that I like to describe, the lizard dance. And the lizard dance is actually something I got from Lost Planet 2 that I can't find, and I want to find it so bad. And the idea is you sit with your arms out 90 degrees from your body, and your legs splayed a little bit, and you alternate. Like if you're on your right foot, you put your left hand up, and you put your left foot up and your right arm down, and then you alternate. And that's the lizard dance. And that's how he would have danced, because he's a lizard guy. So, like, being able to put that kind of thing in with the consideration of what kind of person are they, what kind of thing are they. Even if it's humorous, it's still done with an intent, even if it's stupid. The story is that Frank and Fran is a super naive master surgeon, and she ends up as an evil genie all along. You want people to like you. Huh. Well, certainly sounds weird. Oh boy. I'm gonna unplug that. I was like, what the hell is that noise? Hold on 1 second. I gotta figure out what this noise is. I have to figure out what the noise was. I don't think I can do anything about that. As long as you guys can't hear it, that's fine. Hope you can't hear that. Yeah. Off my foot. Get off my foot. Boy, I hope you can't hear that. It is really loud. Might have to... My roommate, he has a little filter for a eel, and his dog has a bad habit of drinking the water out of the eel's little container, and he has a filter set up to it, and if the water gets too low, the filter's like, I can't, and I don't know if I should turn it off. I don't know if I should get some water for it. It's kind of like, well, But as long as you guys can't hear it. I think this also does a good job of, because I want this to really scale, like, how big and how small these are. I don't imagine these, like, mecha being all that big. I actually think they're kind of compact. I've always gotten the impression that this mecha design has always been one that's like pretty small, honestly, like not super big. You're like bigger than most other things, and you have armor that will deflect like small arms fire, but you're not huge. Not 70 stories tall. You're not 70 stories Gundam tall. You're not a skyscraper. I want it to like be like, okay, so things like houses could be considered like concealing cover, essentially. You could hide behind a house. There we go. Yeah, this one's coming out really, really nice, actually. Might be the best. This might be one of the best versions of this character design I've done, honestly. I hope it like makes sense, and I hope like this is where I'm like I do genuinely think I have like a very solid like unique design. I don't know. I've always liked this design that I'm like clearly inspired by things like Gundam and Evangelion, but it's not Neva, it's not a Gundam, it's not one of the mechs from Titanfall. It is my design. It's my original design. But yeah, like I don't feel unconfident claiming like no, like these are my guys. It's not a mech from Code Geass. Like it's got its own design fallacy. It's got its own design philosophies. It's got its own character. It's not just another kind of mecha. At least I don't think it is. I certainly hope it doesn't look generic. Though granted, the only real thing that I think that sets it most notably apart from other mecha is probably the legs. But I like that. I've always liked the Digigrade design. I don't know why. Liked it. It's like a cool mecha thing. The mecha have Digigrade legs. It's fine. I also like to think that it, you know, tries to really capture that it's like humanoid, but like still, it's like that in between of like the super humanoid mecha design of Eastern, like, you know, Japan mechanation, but also the more like Western mecha design of a vehicle. What I'm going for, anyways. want it to be very clean, but I don't want it to be not robotic. Started the coloring, but I really should have waited on that. Should get the designs of the sketch down first before I do that. Which is close. And again, the big thing to consider, to remember is this is actually the cockpit back here. Which is why I'm like really glad. And that was actually something that somebody else recommended, actually, when I was designing this, because I was like, I never really know where to put the cockpit. Originally I had the cockpit in the chassis, but I always felt like, given the kind of size constraints that I was trying to put these under, that always felt wrong. Like, somebody wouldn't be able to fit in there, certainly not comfortably. And then somebody said, like, try a backpack. And I was like, it's brilliant. Yes, that would make sense, too. So I did a backpack design, and I actually think that the way that I would design this backpack is, from a game design standpoint, is actually a little bit sectioned. So you can't just shoot the back for, like, cockpit damage. The cockpit is a very specific spot that you have to hit. That's like the headshots area that would be always kind of like outlined on every mecha, which is kind of like this bold area. Everything down here would at least be armored enough that like you would do it. This is like either armored or maybe even unarmored section, so you don't want to get hit there, but you're not going to get. It's not going to be a one-hit kill unless you get like a hit specifically on the top area, and the head does not count for that. The head is its own thing. And I'm trying to decide now if I want to do something kind of spicy. So I'm like, do I just... I've done all this work of it down, but I think it should be up. I think the gun should be up. Bad boy. All that work. Now I'm about to throw it all away. Sometimes. Art. Make sure that stays the same. So the shoulder needs to stay in the same spot, but I do want this to go up. I did to get that to happen, but okay. Why it's going so slow. Hopefully that fixes itself. I don't think it will. This needs to go down. Okay, I see what I gotta do. I want this to truly be like up here-ish. I think will look cooler, actually, yeah. Yeah. Thinking about things. That to go that way. This. That way. There. You know, in the back of my brain, I was like, maybe I should try making a different layer for, like, a lot of different things, and I was like, yeah, I should try that, and then I didn't do it. Now regretting not doing that. I thought about doing essentially, like, a different layer for, like, each arm and the body, so that way if I have to move something, I could just do something where I essentially make underbody, like, just white it out almost. Do that. Maybe should have. It's fine. I can work with this. I see what I've done. Might actually have to make the legs a little bit bigger now. It's fine. That actually fixes something that I was running into with this region. That actually fixes a fine thing. There we go. Now if I take the legs, this leg, bigger. This leg has to get a little bit bigger. There we go. I'm gonna go, I'll be right back. It's just bugging me too much. Next time. Oh no, I had to plug the heels thing. One moment, everybody. How's everybody? Everybody's doing all right. Alright. What? Ow. Funny is that I probably need to... I was like doing some of that coloring, but I'll probably start it on a different... Let's just change it, actually. Not even really the same anymore. Mainly goes around like that. Hard. That's hard to draw. I make those legs bigger. I don't think I need to. After drawing that Helldivers character, I feel like I've gotten a much better sense of shape. Very, very big. Things that I was doing before. There we go. That would make sense to me. Yeah. And a little bit. Yeah, that looks better. Yeah, that looks better. From a stylistic standpoint, better. More interesting to look at than the gun just being down. Gives you a better, it gives you a better idea too of how like the stancing would be, like how the targeting would be, like even if you're like aiming it, it's like they have to pull it up to the camera to like be able to line it up for like the computer has to figure out where the bullets are gonna go, so it has to pull it up somehow. There we go. There we go. I really like how this is coming. Yeah, that Helldivers image really helped a lot. This is coming out really good because of it. Alright, got that. Yeah, shape-wise, I think this is the best shape I've ever gotten this character in. I just have to do this every single time. Every single time I want to draw this, I just have to draw it the same way every time. But really though, that made a huge difference for shape and stuff. And like, you get a really good sense of depth with this now. Really the sense of size and like shape of it. I think I've done a much better job with that this time around than I ever have before. Planes are good. The planes. Everybody out there, artists, use your planes. Planes are good. Planes are helpful. Get you to get the shapes correct. Big stretch. Ugh. Crunch there. Take a moment. I'm running on quesadilla fuel, everybody's. Had a really nice leftover quesadilla. I have a place near me, a Mexican place, that I went to yesterday with my friend David, and we didn't get flan, unfortunately. They didn't have any flan. I did ask for flan, and they were like, all of our desserts are in there, and I don't think we have any. And I was like, oh. And then I joked to David later, I was like, why couldn't they just do flan to order? What's wrong with that? Is there something absurd about asking you to make a custard for me right now? I could wait for 5 hours. I don't think it takes 5 hours, but it would take a long time. Fortunately, we could not get flan, but instead I got really, really good. God, their quesadillas are... They make a braised beef that is just the best. It's just the best. It's like it comes off in like strips and is shredded, and it's good. All the non-Americans out there, Mexican. Probably the best US food you can get. Authentic Mexican is really good. Really, really, really damn good if you could ever try it. I highly recommend it. It's the best food you ever get. I feel like with this I've resolved some core design stuff that I always struggled with. That I just kind of like... clumped in there and was like, it'll be fine. Yeah, it works. I feel like I've done a very good job of... I like that effect, actually. I don't know if I'd want it uncovered or not. Just listen, as much as I'm like, oh, it looks cool, I'm also like, but does it make sense? Because if anything that's exposed like that would be very easy to destroy, so it's like, no. Not for my... Not anything exposed. Not from the direction that you want armor to be. If something's armored, you want it to be armored. Yeah, this is definitely becoming my favorite version of this I've ever drawn. And I'm glad I second-guessed myself that I decided to redesign the gun being down. I think the gun being up both looks better and gives you a better idea of how it would actually hold the gun when firing the sides. I want it to look cool so people be like, whoa, that looks cool! I want it to be cool. I think it's cool. I want people to think I'm cool. And apparently I've successfully done that somehow. Yeah! first in my life. A lot of firsts recently. I'm gonna take them. Had a lot of firsts in my life, and I think things have been good. Things have been good. And things have been getting better. And things have been getting a lot better. And I'm super stoked and excited for all of those facts. As I've kind of stated, this is six-ish years coming to a head. Might as well. Granted, a lot of that time was just me trying to figure out how to settle and be okay with the things I do. It takes time. You gotta figure out what you actually want to do. Then the next step is what I struggled with a lot, which is being willing to say and stand by saying that's what I want to do, regardless of what people say, good or bad. I had to figure out a little bit. That part out of what I was doing is a huge part of how I got to be able to do what I'm doing now. Argue. Now it's just kind of up to me to figure out what I want to do next with that. A lot. It is a lot, but I'll figure it out, I think. Figuring things out is just what I do. There we go. Probably need to work on that other hand a little bit more. Really liking how this has turned out so far. Drawing! 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 Drawing time. Yeah! That's coming in the future? Yeah! Release date be determined. Also a good title for God. Release date TBD. Ah, yes. Favorite. I think I'd also give a pretty harsh, like, if I ever got around to starting the development process on this, I'd give some pretty harsh, like, this is where we should be after this date, and if we hit that date and aren't close to it, then we just gotta do everything we can to a second date to get it to there, no matter what. And not do everything. I think that's how I'd also plan that kind of production, is, I feel like there's a lot I want to put into this game, and I know all of it wouldn't be able to make it in on release, but I would want the things that matter to work. A long time ago in college, I did some Python programming. A long time ago. That's the real struggle, is I really just need to get into it. And Jackson was actually trying to tutor me a little bit on Java, a little bit at one point. Which, man, like, I just gotta get in. I just gotta get in there. I mean, I'd want to start learning whatever would be in the, you know, architecture I'd be working in, and it seems like C++ is what a lot of game engines work with. That's from my understanding. I know Java's used a lot. I know that C++ is used a lot. It does depend. It depends a lot. But I just have to get into one. Period. No buts. No buts. I just need to start looking at game engines. I was looking at Godot at one point, which I think in JavaScript or what. Because really, the basics I need to learn for Mimi is knowing how to set up my variables to start making them definable. That's the thing that I think I will struggle with the most starting and have the least experience. It's actually how to designate variables in an engine. Because as soon as I can make the engine malleable, I'll be fine. Because then I'll be able to adjust and add values. But a lot of that you still have to do from the groundwork up. There's no easy way to do that. You have to just start laying down the brickwork, which is the hard part. From my understanding, the way that my brain would kind of process that. And I think it depends also what you're going for. C# or C++ or Python or Luau. Luau I did take a little bit of a look into, do a thing that I was messing with a long time ago. I even backed it and had it, and I was like, oh, this would like be a good way to, because like I've always had an interest in game design, and anything that could like make game design approachable, I always was interested in. And I think it's called Future Perfect. I think it was what the project was called. I backed it on Steam. I have it still, I believe. Oh no, I spelled future wrong. Yeah, Future Perfect was something that I was like potentially looking into. I like the idea of a game about designing games, because I like systems that allow you to actually make things. And that had some Luau scripting in it, and I was looking at Luau at one point. It's like, I've touched so many game engines, I just need to finally sit down. I've touched Luau, I've touched, oh. I think this has, yeah, oh no. Oh, this is another Metroid Prime thing that sounds like Phendrana Drifts. Luau is flexible. It's not great IMHO though. I mean, yeah. Because they were using Luau, and I dabbled very briefly into it. And I was looking at Unreal, because Unreal has, the nice thing about Unreal, that if I was to get into it, I know that they have their like hookup system. Their hookup system is a really nice way to visualize code. Visualizing code would help me a ton. Once I learned that I could visualize music through FL Studio, I could make music. If you could visualize code for me, I would be able to make video games without a question. Without a question. Because one of the barriers for me is the separation between the visual and the tactile elements of game design and the written side of game design. It's kind of the same with music. The auditory and spatial element of music, I can grasp a lot easier than the written element of music, which still does exist. Not very good at reading music. But I used FL Studio, and you don't need to know how to read music to make music in FL Studio. As soon as there's an engine that I can really engage with that kind of same concept that you can visual, and I can confirm that I have because I've made levels and made games and made game design in Halo 3. Halo 3 is taking the wordiness of your text of your engine and putting it in a visual UI and layout. It's possible. And if I can get to that point with an engine, if I can literally make an engine or have someone make me an engine that has that, I can make video games. I know it, and I say that confidently. Because I have made video games. Damn it. I'd like Godot, that's what I thought. I think Godot is probably the best for that. It's like the best middle ground for all of that kind of thing. And I've dabbled a little bit in Unreal, and I've seen, Sean has shown me like the Unreal coding maps. I think the coding maps are good. I would want to move from Godot, after having gotten an experience with Godot, to move to Unreal, because I think Unreal has probably better things overall. But I think, I've talked about this before, I think ironically, Unreal is slightly too technical for how free it is. It's actually a little bit too advanced of an engine. A little bit, in my opinion. That's my opinion, though. For what it offers. Well, also Unreal isn't free. You're right. Wait, is Unreal no longer free? And free doesn't mean simple. You're also right. Oftentimes, sometimes you try free for a little bit more technicality. A lot more workarounds. A lot less UI niceness. It does beg the question, though. Unreal's not free? Is it not free anymore? Unreal used to be free. I tried to make games in Unreal with Sean a couple times. That makes more sense. They get you in royalties, yeah. I don't know if Godot has that. Godot probably has something similar. I mean, it makes sense. We didn't design the engine. Until we design an engine, until we designed the Canary engine, its own fucking kettle of beans. That makes sense. It does. We didn't make the Unreal Engine. That's a good way to monetize that. Now, granted, if the royalties are exorbitant, then yes, I would not want to use Unreal. Yeah. So again, until I could make the Canary Engine 1.0, which I would love. I mean, I'll take it as inspiration for Billy. Billy Basso made that engine. Probably doesn't. It doesn't have to pay royalties to anyone now. Doesn't have to pay royalties to Unity, Unreal. Doesn't have to do any of that. Made the engine himself. Made the game from the ground up. That's fair. Sometimes that's just what it takes. that's why I still work on this, so that way, someday, because the next goal is probably like, I'm probably going to take this and try to transfer it into a Blender model, which I don't know if I think I want to do Wednesdays. I'm specifically designating things I can use to grow a platform. Right now, I'm really focused on the art station. I really want to focus on the art station, so the music might actually wait a while. But at some point, I might also go into FL Studio with it. Or maybe I'll alternate it. I don't know. But I think right now I want to like really get solid and start adding more to my art station and start growing that out first. And then I'll move on to my SoundCloud, probably next. And maybe, just maybe, one of these days will be like, let's play around with an engine. Let's just play. I don't even think I'd be like, we're gonna make a video game. It's gonna be more like, we're going to try to make the simplest video. And we're going to play in the engine. That might be what I do one of these days. Wednesdays is about studying and working towards like some kind of end goal product. That's what Wednesdays are. That's what Wednesdays are for me right now. Ah, beans. Ah, beans, everybody. Fresco, you better have my back. Fresco's usually pretty good. Come on, come on, laptop. Well, I don't know what crashes my laptop at this point. I have no idea what crashes my laptop at this point. It's 3. I couldn't take. Guys, your support, you can get me a new laptop. Your support, you can get me a new graphics card to be able to stream newer games at a better quality. Your support, I'm able to make better art, make better designs, make better everything. Come on. Come on, laptop. Come on, laptop. You can do it. There you go. Good laptop. Good laptop. Make a good time too. I've got an hour and a half left still. And I think I'm gonna just I was kind of messing around with the colors, but I think I'm just gonna focus on getting the line work done. And we'll do coloring next time. I think I should dedicate a day to line work, a day to coloring, a day to shading, and a day to background. I think that's the process, and that's 20 hours. That's 20 hours on a subject. That. Hey, would you look at that? Nothing of notice was lost. Sorry about that, everybody. Laptop is not... This laptop at the top has seen better. This laptop has seen better days and had a better time. That's going that. I like this mix. Mix has really. This is also just the best detail I've gotten on this subject, I feel like. I really don't get this detail. Got a good sense of shape. Structure. It makes sense. It actually makes sense for once, though. I think I need to... Oh no, that leg is about right. Maybe... a little bit more forward, but... this leg is actually correct. Round out and terminate. Somewhere. Look at me thinking about the... Look at me thinking about the proper shape of the guy. Interesting. That's, yeah, that is actually a mech thing that I had been struggling with a lot, is getting those legs to look right, honestly. And I'm really happy with how that looks now. Hey, there's the Fendrana music. I was like checking to be like, this sounds exactly like the Fendrana soundtrack. Nope, this is actually a Metroid Prime 3 song. Oh, and then I looked a little bit farther and I'm like, oh, there's Fendrana music in here though. Not at all surprised that they put Fendrana Drifts in here. Good ass fucking song. Good ass song. I want to know who did the soundtrack for Metroid Prime, because they still have some of my... They have some of my favorite tonal music in a game, and they just knocked it out of the park, man. They're so good with the soundtrack of Metroid Prime. Side of the pen. There we go. Yeah. Eh. That's a tough one. That's a toughie. This sounds like Metal Gear music. That's Metal Gear. Liked the music. I started off with Tooth. Part of my issue. There we go. Really tried to put the perspective on there that it's like a bolt. It's a bolt sticking out of it. And I want it to be straight because I want to make it clear that like it has to be exaggerated because it's a big dumpy guy. It's a big old robot. So it has to be able to grab it. It's not necessarily precise. Oh, I want the picture. I don't want to buy it. There we go. A bunch of knobby bits. Somebody who really, really likes guns. I really dislike drawing guns. I don't even dislike drawing guns. I think it's more just like I'm not very confident at that kind of design. Grew up drawing dinosaurs and stuff, and inanimate objects always struggled with. They always feel like they're very precisely made, and I didn't have a very precise method of drawing art. Definitely gotten better at that, but I need a ruler. God, if I actually got a ruler, I'd be stupid. I don't need a ruler. I don't need a ruler. I look like somebody who needs a rule. Probably. Make me. Can't make me use a ruler. I don't know if this is Metroid or not. For a second I thought it was Metroid Prime, but I think this is Metal Gear. This is either Metal Gear or it's Phase on Mines, but I think it's Metal Gear. Sounds like Metal Gear. Sounds like Big Shell to me. I might actually... hold on. Oh yeah, this is Metal Gear. Buddy, I'm using my brain. Get actively here, I'm using my brain. I'm trying to. Trying to use my brain. Which honestly, I think that helped a lot, actually. Like, about that hand. I was like kind of putting it off. It's like, I need to fix that hand. Mess with it. I don't want to mess with it. Finally messed with it. Perfect. Little bit in there, little bit in there. How flat does that look? Working on it. I'm working on it. Hard part is making it look right. I think I need to bend. I need to bend a little bit. Wow, that made a huge difference. Wow, that immediately made a huge difference, guys. I was not expecting that much of a difference just by bending the fingers just like a little bit. I was like, oh, it'll be fine. It'll probably help a little bit, but it won't make that big of a difference. Really big difference to the... Made it look a lot less like bad and more like good. More like good. More like good. Dude, I like more like good. More like good is good. Not like bad. Bad is bad. Good is good. How I make things. Less like bad, more like good. Getting a little less like bad, more like good every day. Oh god, see, this is a stretching one. That takes a stretch. That one takes a stretch for me. That one deserves a stretch. I worked really hard for that. I think I extend... But that made a huge difference. Whoa, that hand looks so much better now. Get that. You got. Papa. Artwork look like not trash. Yay! I no longer make trash. To draw like me, you no longer make trash, because you're no longer afraid that object look like wrong in garbage disposal. Draw like me, you no longer fear that object will look like trash out of fear of being interpreted too easily. That's what abstract is. Abstract art. When you draw art like me, don't have to worry about drawing art wrong out of fear of someone misinterpreting. I think my art has gotten a lot cleaner. Very nice. I'm glad. I'm glad that I've got cleaner art these days. Good that my art. Proud of that. Hard to get it cleaner. Art is something I... There we go. And I think that gets the rifle aesthetic down. Because again, what silly fact have you found, Moat? I always love silly facts. Is it a wild wiki? You should redeem it as a wild wiki if it's a wild wiki. Then I can read about it officially. No? As I feel like I finally got okay at art. Find Over Totoro and Grave of the Fireflies were released on the same day as a double ticket. Now, okay, that sentence, I was about to be like, well, no, I know that Grave of the Fireflies and My Neighbor Totoro were both done by Ghibli, that they're very different movies. However, the longer I read that, the more fucking wild the statement did actually get. I could not imagine. I do not... As somebody who hasn't seen Grave of the Fireflies yet, which I have been told, Isaac, it's a good movie, and if you want to watch it, you gotta watch that shit on your own, buddy. I was like, okay, I'll probably do that one day and cry a lot. But, that's some fucking Barbara Heimer levels of... That is like, if Barbara Heimer was real, like... That would be like if there were theaters who were doing a deal on buy a double feature ticket to Barbie and Oppenheimer. Well, see, that's the question, Mode, and I'll actually save that. I'll actually save that for. Well, no, I probably won't. Mode, if you're here again, mention that again, because I would like to discuss that with my friends, because we would have a field day with that, because we were already like, which would you rather watch in what order for Barbenheimer? Oppenheimer first, or Barbie? And I think they all agreed unanimously Oppenheimer first, so that way you can come back with Barbie to feel good. Again. This one is probably the same, though I don't know if Totoro's gonna get the taste of Grave of the Fireflies out of your mouth. I don't think it'll do that. I don't think it'll be enough. Granted, I have not seen... I've seen Totoro, but I have not seen... but I watched it a long time ago, and I have not seen Grave of the Fireflies yet, though I should. I feel like I should. Everything I've heard about it, I would like it. Just... I've been warned, it's pretty rough. No spoilers. I do want to watch it. I watched Band of Brothers on my own. I'm sure I'll be fine. I like very sad war movies about how war is bad and war is bad and war is bad. I also like war movies because there's a little that I know about it based on the kind of the cover art. It's also about civilians caught in a wartime thing, and I like that kind of thing, so. You 100% know what it is and you don't want to watch it? This is what I'm... Everybody... I will watch it to do my anime taxes. To do my Ghibli taxes, I guess. Because now I feel like I need to watch it, because I only ever get the impression that nobody ever wants to watch it again. So I'm like, well, we did talk about Song of Saya earlier. I never want to experience Song of Saya again, but I at least appreciated experience, well, at least got something out of experiencing it that will make me a better writer. So I owe it to myself on some degree to watch Grave of the Fireflies. Every time I bring it up, people are like, we're not watching that with you, Isaac. And I'm like, that rough? I watched Jacob's Ladder. I would watch Jacob's Ladder again. That one's pretty fucking rough. Movie for you, Test Dogs. Same team who gave us Watership Down. I've never actually seen Watership Down, so... no idea. That's one that I forgot existed, actually. I'll have to check it out, too. Listen, right now, one of my favorite books of all time is Catch 22, and not just because it's funny. It is funny. It's got some of my favorite writing. It has one of my favorite jokes that's just an entire chapter. Oh. Funny. It is funny. It's got some of my favorite writing. It has one of my favorite jokes that's just an entire chapter.